Number 20, Erased. The main reason why it's here is actually nostalgia. It was one of my first few anime, and it does a really good job at showing how time travel would work, as well as the things that could have been changed if we had taken action earlier. I especially like the character development of Satoru and Kaio, and I'm not afraid to say this, but the ending was actually good. I like how the show didn't limit the feelings of Satoru and Kaio to just romance and actually showed us how altruism and genuine compassion for others works. Satoru clearly didn't cry because Kai was married to someone else. It was instead because of how much he cared about her as a human being and was glad to see her living a normal, comfortable life after all the torture that she had gone through. Number 19, Monster. It's a fantastic show as it really goes deeply into many aspects of the human nature, especially through the main protagonist Kenzo Tenma and the main antagonist, of course, Johann Liebert. We get to see how Kenzo Tenma strives to maintain his ideals in a cruel and unjust world, as well as aspects of nihilism and pure evil through Johann Liebert. We also get to see different sides of dark psychology and manipulation. So yeah, it's an excellent piece of work from the start to the end, and I absolutely loved it. Number 18, Hunter x Hunter. Another really good show that does a pretty good job when it comes to showing multiple themes while making it enjoyable. The show also has very little filler with a really good cast of characters and so many things to look forward to in each episode, and every arc until the final one is perfectly laid out. Number 17, we have Charlotte. I really like how the show starts off with the protagonist whom basically every normal teenage boy can relate to, and how he makes his way to a top school by using his superpowers. We also get to see other really good characters and their own superpowers and backstories, and how the plot keeps thickening with every episode. It's simple yet effective in its execution. I honestly think that Charlotte had a lot of potential to become perfect and memorable if it weren't for the extremely fast-paced ending and lots of unanswered questions. Number 16, The Eminence in Shadow. It's safe to say that it's my favorite isekai of all time. It's enjoyable, bingeable, funny, relatable, and actually has a really good plot and world building, as well as characters with their own backstories and emotional depth. If I were to use a metaphor to describe Eminence in the Shadow, I'd say that it's just like water. It's bland, but you need to survive, and it's especially tasty during a hot summer or when you're just tired of every other drink. It's tasteless, colorless, formless, but most importantly, timeless. Number 15, The Disastrous Life of Psyche K. It's an excellent show which blends in the comedy and seriousness of Psyche's life as a psychic pretty well. It also has a great cast of characters and the best scenarios for Psyche to use his powers. It also shows us how beautiful our normal lives actually are, especially through Psyche yearning for the same. It's a top-notch comedy anime, and I really love it. Number 14, Hyoka. It's a really good mystery anime which mainly works through a duo of a lazy genius and a curious girl whom, along with their friends, resolve a lot of mysteries. Oreki's deductive skills through his logical reasoning and abstract thinking is just uh, amazing and brilliant. We also get to see different sides of these characters in different situations, and in the end, it's also a very enjoyable show, and I really love it. Number 13, Oregairu. Oh boy, Hachiman's starting monologue, I literally felt it running through my veins. We see how lonely and depressed the main character is due to getting rejected multiple times, which affects his personality in high school a lot. We also see how the other two main protagonists have their own insecurities and backstories, with Yukinoshita Yukino being this ideal woman who lives for perfection through hard work and discipline, but has her own struggles and insecurities deep down, and Yuigahama Yui being a cheerful and friendly girl who doesn't want to lose her friends and also has her own insecurities. The way the three of them solve others' problems while developing themselves throughout the seasons, as well as how the other characters have their own stories, is pretty good to see. It's a wonderful show. Number 12, Devilman Crybaby. It's a masterpiece which beautifully portrays how humanity is losing its characteristics and values that it once had through them turning into demons. The way Akira's personality remains the same even after turning into a demon, the way Ryo and others manipulate humans into hating and killing demons while putting themselves in more danger through this, and the ending in which good ends up winning over the evil, and even Satan himself starts to have feelings that he never did before. The human willpower and kindness, all these are perfectly portrayed in this, and that too in just 10 episodes. Number 11, Ping Pong the Animation. It's honestly a very underrated sports anime which goes through multiple themes with multiple characters and their playstyles. We have Tsukimoto Makoto, who's talented but lacks passion and love for the game. We have Hoshino Yutaka with his raw talent and relentless passion and enjoyment of the game. We have Wench Kong, a person who's considered to be a failure in his country despite his hard work, so he goes to Japan and works really hard to become the best, while also making new friends and actually enjoying his life. Ryuichi Kazama, the prodigy and champion of table tennis, with his own insecurities and feelings, and many more such characters and themes. All of them are amazing in their own way and make the show even more enjoyable. Number 10, Gintama. This one's honestly a legendary show with the perfect balance of comedy and seriousness. The way it contrasts the deepest and darkest backstories and the most intense fights with the most enjoyable and funny scenes is just amazing. The characters, the plot, the story, the fights, the comedy, everything is done right and perfectly. Number 9, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Another shonen anime which is really well done. The characters, their backstories, the emotional depth, the story with no fillers, and 64 episodes that are just almost perfect. It's done really well and really perfectly. Number 8, we have Vinland Saga, especially because of the contrast between season 1 and season 2, of course. The way Thorfinn progresses from being a killing machine to saying, I have no enemies, is probably the best character development that I've ever seen. The way this anime shuns war and bloodthirst in its own way is just fantastic, and it also shows us a lot of other deep values and lessons that we really need to care about. Number 7, the Tatami Galaxy. Oh boy, every student or anyone to be honest should watch this. This show is literally a slap in the face and a kick to the balls to those who think, what if my life was this way instead, or what if my life was different? Because it shows very well that despite how many alternative lives the main protagonist gets to live, he does not find satisfaction with his college life due to not achieving his ideal goals until he does, especially in the episode where he gets completely stuck in his tatami room and shut off from the world, realizes all the things that he's actually missing. The normal world, his favorite food neko ramen, the struggles and pain that he had gone through, the fun that he had in all of his alternative clubs and stuff. It's just done masterfully. It also teaches us about how the opportunity is right in front of us and how we should grab it by taking the action that we really want to and need to. It's just fantastic. Number 6, Blue Lock. I know that it's just been one season, but man, does the show know what it's doing. It goes out of its way to show you the importance of ego as well as your abilities and skill sets to truly achieve what you want in life, and Blue Lock is really an optimal place where only the best can survive. Ego's life lessons, Isagi's thought process, and the other characters' philosophies and backstories are all just excellent and realistic with no bullshit involved. So yeah, this anime is extremely good. Number 5, Haikyuu. Although the recent movies seem to be a little bit disappointing due to fast pacing and cut content, the anime as a whole though so far is just god tier. The way each character has and represent his or her own philosophy, their backstories, emotions, character development through their journeys, their passion for the game in different ways, all of them are done with utmost perfection, and also the way they fit into your teams as well. Volleyball Over here is just a context to display these philosophies and ideals to the uppermost limit, and honestly, IQ has really changed my own life a lot through this, and that's exactly why it's so great. Number 4, March comes in like a lion. It's about shogi and a lot more. The way it goes so deeply into the most minute details of life is what makes it so good. Rei Kuriyama struggled with the shogi and school life while dealing with depression and trauma from the past. The Kawamoto family helping others and making them smile despite their own struggles. Characters like Kai Shimada, Harunobu Nikaido, and more with their own backstories and struggles. Fuji Soya struggles while consistently being at the top. Not only that, but the show also shows the beauty of life and different philosophies, ideals, and emotions in the best way possible, with some of the best artwork that I've ever seen, honestly. Number 3, the legendary Attack on Titan. It's just perfect from the start to the end. The dominoes for each and every event to take place are laid out perfectly. It's basically a piece of art that defines this generation and an important document for the future generations to come. Number 2, Death Note. Nostalgia is extremely strong on this one, because yeah, this one's my first ever 13 plus anime that I actually properly watched and completed, and it's clearly god tier. The way the plot thickens with every episode, the way it becomes more and more complex, and so do the characters. The way Light Yagami loses his sanity after every death, everything is done perfectly, and I absolutely love this show to its core, and will continue to do so. And for number one, and for number one, I want you guys to guess it first in the comments and then continue playing the video. You have 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. Yes, it's the Legend of the Galactic Heroes. My opinions on its plot, the characters, the backstories, the themes, etc. are exactly the same as other anime in the top 10 of this list. But man, this show just has a different vibe to it, some sort of magic that the modern shows lack, because it's a classic anime from 1988 with 110 episodes and no fillers, and it just does each one of them so perfectly. Oh my god, I just really love how god tier it is in everything, especially for an 80s anime, and that's pretty much why it's number one. Thanks for watching.